Hi guys, here's my kitty. It doesn't matter what her name is, we'll call her Hello Kitty. So my kitty lives in my apartment and she's never been allowed out of the apartment. In fact, she hasn't even been to the vets because the vet comes to visit her. Here's my nephew. He's a bit of a menace. His name is Dennis, and one time he chased or maybe kicked my Hello Kitty out of the apartment. The kitty, obviously she was quite stressed about this until she came across Hello Kitty's garden. Of course, she didn't know anything about it, but finally, after a little bit of stress, she thought it was absolutely amazing and really enjoyed the garden. So she was really, really scared, and then actually she decided it was great fun in the garden, following all of those butterflies and birds and bees and what have you around. So from that day on, she was always really, really sad whenever she was stuck in the apartment, because all she could think about was the Hello Kitty garden and how much more fun that was in the apartment. Now, Hello Kitty, she has two rabbit friends, and even worse, she told her friends that also live in the apartment. Of course, they thought that she was absolutely mad because Hello Kitty garden couldn't possibly be real because there's nothing beyond that door. But of course, Hello Kitty knew that all very well, that there was something outside beyond the door. So now she's planning her next holiday with Hello Kitty Airways. That's some kitty food there for her to eat. So if we have a look at it and think about this in terms of Plato, Plato describes a group of people that are in a cave, and they are sitting chained to a cave, and behind them there is a fire. So what they see is their own shadows projected onto the side of the cave. As far as they're concerned, this is completely reality, and that's it. That's the end of the world. So just so we know what we're talking about here, we've got the fire behind the people chained in the cave, and what they see is their shadows up on the wall, and they think that's reality. So now, on one day, one of those people were actually released from the ropes, and then he got out and turned around and saw the cave, was absolutely stunned, first of all very, very stressed out when he turned around and saw the fire, but then actually started to like the fire and was enjoyed by it. Then he managed to get out of the cave, and there's this fantastic cave entrance, and then he actually looked beyond the entrance of the cave and saw. First of all, he was quite stressed by this, but then, just as Hello Kitty, he actually decided he liked it. So, thinking back to the cave, so this freed prisoner now understands his world. And it'd be very hard for him to return to his old way of thinking, very hard for him to return back to the cave. He might even feel a little bit sorry for his fellow cave people, maybe even contempt for them. So when finally he does return to the cave, he's not in a good place at all. They might think he's mad, maybe might even want to kill him for saying things that are sacrilegious and clearly wrong, and starting all sorts of problems. So you can see it does cause problems for the cave person. So for this cave person, it was an unpleasant but necessary journey of enlightenment. Now what you can do is you can use these ideas in your exams whenever you're talking about social cultural exchanges. So quite often when we have a new social cultural exchange, we're first stunned by it, we're scared, very, very cautious, but then we develop beyond that and actually start to take in some of those good things. So not only for indigenous cultures, we can also think about it in ourselves. We're going to go on to look at the Danai people and try and make those parallels between the Danai people and Plato's cave.